Okay, we're going to solve right triangles now. Okay, we're going to solve right triangles now in the second scenario, where you're given two little letters, or you're given two sides, and of course you're given the right angle, angle C. So I filled in the box over here. Hit pause if you want to fill in the data. I would like to now talk about again, the easy first step in this case problem, and that is to find side B. When you're given two things in one of these columns, like when you're given angle A and angle C, you can find angle B. When you're given two things here, you can go into your program and find leg B using your program, or because I don't have the program on my calculator, I would have to take the hypotenuse squared minus the other leg squared and take the square root of that. And I'm just going to tell you that when I do that, I get 817.9. You know, I could probably call that 818 because these have three significant digits, so I probably should. 818. Okay, now I just drew a triangle. I didn't even kind of pay attention to how long the sides should be because I don't know the sizes of the angles, so it's really hard for me to draw when I'm trying to find A and B, and I don't know which one is which. So the one thing I do know is that the hypotenuse is 1,240 units. Now, based on the way I drew this picture, this one is probably not going to be, I shouldn't call it side A because this one probably looks a little bit more equal in size to 932 units. So I'm just going to do that. But it doesn't matter. But since I made this little a, I'm going to make this big A. Since I made that big A, I'm going to make this big B, and therefore little b. Again, would you consider highlighting what you know? Now, this is different than the last problem. I have to find an angle. I have to look to find angle A or look to find angle B, and just make a choice. Just decide. So let's say, because in alphabetical order, angle A is what you're going to look for, then you have to decide of these three trig functions, which one would use the side opposite and the hypotenuse. So for angle A, the side opposite and the hypotenuse. Oh, that's sine. So then I can just say the sine of angle A is equal to the side opposite, let's go ahead and just put the numbers in, over the hypotenuse. Remember, when you know a ratio, you don't need to divide this out. But when you know a ratio and you want to find the size of an angle, the way you type that on your calculator is second button and sine with this ratio. I'm going to demonstrate to find the size of this angle. So second sine, to tell the calculator I want to know the size of the angle, given that the side opposite is 932 and the hypotenuse 1240, it's going to go into its memory banks and it's going to say, hey, the size of that angle is 48.7 degrees. 48.7 degrees. If I'm terribly confident in my work for that, oh, what the heck, I'll just subtract that from 90 and I'll get an answer of 41.3 degrees for angle B, and I'm done. But I'm not confident in myself. Joking. I'm going to solve for angle B using trigonometry. So, given that I want this now, the name of that side is the side adjacent to angle B. This is adjacent. This one's the hypotenuse. This is the one that uses adjacent and hypotenuse. So if I did not just take 90 minus this 48 to get this, I would use the cosine of angle B is equal to the side adjacent over the hypotenuse. And I'd take my calculator and I'd go second cosine of 932 divided by 1240, and I'd find out that the size of that angle is 41.3 degrees. And then I've already put that in there as 41.3 degrees. So I've kind of just confirmed, therefore. That is kind of my check. There's no point in checking this by the Pythagorean theorem unless you want to use a squared plus b squared and see if it's c squared. But all that does is check that you use the Pythagorean theorem correctly for this. So two sides is a little bit harder in that you have to find the size of an angle. So you have to remember to go second sine and second cosine. Let's see what the next problem looks like. I think it's very similar. So I've been given two sides, so I'll just go ahead and fill in these letters. And so side A is 5920 and B is 4110. I've been given the 90-degree angle. So get yourself all set up. Also, you've been given the two legs. The way I've drawn this one probably looks like the longer leg. So let's let it be, let's let it be A, because A is the 5920. And let's let B be the 4110. All right, with that, then this should be called angle B because it's opposite side B. If this is side A, this should be called angle A. Here's angle C, and I don't know what side C is. I'm going to go back to my black. So actually, I think I'll use blue. So first step, easy step, find side C by Pythagorean theorem. So take the 5920 squared plus the 4110 squared, because those are the two legs, and take the square root. And when you do that, let's see, you should get 7207. All right. Now, you got to decide which of these are you're going for first. So I just pick alphabetical order. So I'm going for A first. And I was given the side opposite A and the side adjacent A. Tangent is defined as the side opposite divided by the side adjacent. So remember how we started to discover all this trigonometry. The calculator knows, and mathematicians went through all this these calculations to say if you have this kind of a ratio for angle A, then the size of the angle is always the same with that ratio. So you will take the inverse tangent of 5920 and divide it by 4110. I'm going to go ahead and do that. Actually, I can, so second tan of 5920 divided by 4110, and that will give me a 55.2 degree angle. Let's see, 55.2 degrees. So yes, 90 minus 55 is what, 34.8 degrees, I think. But let's do that using trigonometry. So say I wanted to find angle B properly. Then for angle B, this is called the side opposite. This is called the side adjacent. Oh, wow, interesting. I would use tangent again. But in this case, the tangent of angle B would be the side opposite. So the 4110 would be on top and the 5920 on the bottom. So to find that size, take your calculator, go second tangent of 4110 divided by 5920, and you should get this 34.8. Good enough. I'm going to stop there. That's the second type of problem to